Hey guys, Red here. Welcome to another Afterbirth update for Binding of Isaac Rebirth. So, Edwin just posted this like 30 minutes ago on Twitter. This update is a day late this week. Apparently there was some stuff he couldn't do yesterday. Maybe he just didn't have the time because he's working on so much shit. But yeah, the update is today rather than yesterday, so let's just jump right into it. So there's going to be 2 new items in this post, as well as a new awesome thing. So we're going to have 3 things to talk about. So the first thing is actually the item that I think was in the last update that he showed in a GIF, but didn't tell us what it was. And pretty much most people figured out what it exactly was. It's called Deadeye, as you can see here. So basically what it does is, it makes it so, well, first of all, the visual effect, we'll just give you a red eye. Basically what it does is, for each landed hit, you get a multiplier in your damage, and the tier size also gets bigger, but it only goes to a maximum of ×2 damage. Now, it doesn't specifically say if it's only in a room, or if it continues for the whole floor, or what. Not really sure, because it'd be interesting, because with something like Polyphemus, or like Sacred Heart, like Sacred Heart, it would be really easy to not miss any shots, so you could constantly have a ×2 multiplier damage for the whole run, which would be pretty ridiculous. I'm assuming it probably would be for maybe at least a whole floor, because having it for one room could maybe get to the point where it's not really that useful, you know? Especially if you have a room full of enemies that you're killing in like only 1 hit each anyway, and you know. But I guess if you have low damage, it would be a very good item to have. Even if it only works in one room, but it's pretty interesting. So that'll be an interesting item, especially with Spoonbender. That'll be really good synergy with like Spoonbender and stuff. Apparently Deadeye was a fancy suggested item as well. So basically, yeah, each consecutive hit causes your tears to become red glowing balls of death if you play well. So it's pretty interesting. So what is it? He says here as well, like, this week he's going to spoil a new item, mostly because a few new features aren't finished enough to show. So I guess he wanted to show something else, but he couldn't, so he just was like, screw it, I'll just show you an item. So, whatever. But, so the second item, Continuum. This was actually something, I did actually see this on the subreddit a while ago, that someone suggested this kind of item, and I thought it would be a cool idea, so I'm really glad that Edmund has added this in. So basically, what it does is your tears, I'll just go down to the gift to show you, your tears, if you fire through the wall on, like, let's say the right side here, then they'll come out through this side. So it's like Pac-Man, where if you go through one side of the screen, you come out the other end. Or like, fucking, I don't know, like Portal. Like there's portals everywhere, and it goes boop boop boop. Which is pretty interesting, because that'll be, for something like Ludovico technique, where you can have the tier on one side, and if you quickly need to get to the other side of the room, you can just go through the wall, which will be so much easier. That'll honestly make Ludovico technique a little more useful in like small rooms and stuff, especially if you have a lot of like enemies that are moving around. It can make it really easy to deal with them, so that's pretty interesting. One thing I wonder though is how it's going to work with rubber cement. Like, would rubber cement pretty much become a useless item if you get this tier effect? Because obviously, if it's just going through all the walls, then it's not going to be able to bounce. So it's pretty interesting. Unless, of course, well, I guess, yeah, when rubber cement tiers hit enemies, they bounce. So I guess they would still bounce when they hit enemies, but just not the balls and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. The next thing he talks about, there's a couple of teasers, by the way, that we need to go over as well. But the last thing, which is actually pretty interesting, and I think will be really awesome, is there's going to be a daily, what is it he says? A daily run with scoreboards. It will feature daily runs with scoreboards. So basically the way it works is, every day there will be, so you go to the scoreboard, and there'll be a seed there, and it'll be like, hey, this specific seed, go to this seed. And if you play on that seed, you will get a score, which I'm assuming the score will most likely be how much damage you took, how fast you got to the end of the game, stuff like that. which would be interesting. Maybe how much, maybe like how many keys you used or whatever, like how much consumables you used as well. I'm not really sure how the score's going to work, but basically it's going to score you on your run that you did with that seed, and it'll be a little a daily competition of who can get the best run on each seed, which is pretty interesting. Definitely very, very interesting idea that I think is pretty exciting. It makes the game a little more competitive, I guess, which is awesome because the community is so great, and there isn't really any kind of competitive way to play Isaac unless you get like a few people together and do like not really speed runs, but you do seeded runs with each other, or like the Balls of Steel competition that Cobalt Streak holds, those kind of things. That's the only really competitive way of playing Isaac. But now with the daily things, it makes it a lot easier for pretty much everybody to join in and have like a competitive play. So it's pretty awesome. I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna suck dick and probably not ever be able to get in the top scores. But you know, it'll be fun to try and see how well I can do and see how well I stack up against other Isaac players around the world. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything that's in the post, except for the 2 secret things, which I'll go into right now. So the first thing is what was the first thing? The first thing is this image, secret link. This image, it's an eyeball, as you can see, and there's a coin there. So that's like what, like 3 out of these updates now have had an image like this, where it's been an eye with money. Like one of them was an old guy with glasses, and he had like paper money like under, like between his eye and his glasses, like just like there. And now this one's like a coin instead of the iris or the eyeball, whatever the fuck you want it's called. So what the hell? I'm very. This must have something to do with money equals power, the item, like something, like either that or a new item or a new game mode. I have no idea. I'm so lost at what this means. Like I'm so confused. But it's very interesting. I'm very excited to see what the hell this is going to actually mean for the actual game when Edmund finally decides to tell us what the hell he's been doing with this shit. But yeah, so that's one thing. I'm not really sure what this whole money thing means, but it's there. So yeah, and the other thing, he linked this video, which I kind of spoiled, I guess, because I had it paused on there. But pretty much, oh my god, I'm just going to put that down. So it's just a little bit of gameplay of Isaac. It looks like a regular kind of run. One thing that's happening here is it looks like he's got Death's Touch with rubber cement, and it's looking like it actually synergizes with it now, which I don't think it did before. It doesn't work on enemies, obviously, because it's a penetrative shot, but on walls it definitely bounces, which I don't think it did before, did it? So maybe this is his way of showing off a new synergy. But the big thing that this was showing is, if you go to the end, you probably noticed it already, Spelunker Boy achieved as well, which whatever that is. And yeah, it's the Xbox One. It's the Xbox One version of the game he's having a little teaser for. Which, yeah, that's interesting. So we have now got a teaser little thing he showed for the Xbox One. We have a bunch of teaser things him and Tyler have, not Tyler, Tyrone, forget Tyler, have tweeted about the 3DS version. We've not seen any Wii U, I think. I think we've maybe seen one little thing about the Wii U version, but not much. We've definitely seen more of 3DS and now the Xbox One. So that's interesting. So that was a pretty awesome update. We have 2 new items. The new scoreboard daily run thing, which is pretty fucking awesome. And a teaser for the Xbox One version of the game, and a very cryptic image of an eyeball with money. So yeah. Not sure what all this means exactly, but it's interesting. So yeah, I guess we'll just keep updated. If you want to keep updated on these posts, these Afterbirth updates, follow Edmund on Twitter. Follow him on his Tumblr, which is right here. If you want to stick to watching these videos for the updates, that would be awesome. Just subscribe every week. I'll put them out as fast as I can. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week for the next update. Goodbye.